So thanks very much. And as you know, we're doing the film.
I do.
Yeah, okay.
I'm aware of it.
So, Sacky, did you move out here, or what was the story?
Before you asked me the first question, was I related to the Grants?
Yes.
Well, actually, the Grants were married into the Jacobs family, and I married into the Gaefkin. Oh. And when you mention the Jacob family, you're taking a lot of John's Park, in-laws and outlaws and one. Actually, most of them worked in the glass factory. And if any member of the uncles or anything died, the family died, the glass factory nearly closed down with what people, Jacobs, got up to go to the funeral. Am I right, Eddie?
Yes.
So that's...
And the Jacobs name is funny because they were probably originally Quakers, weren't they?
That's true, yeah.
So do you know where that change happened from the Quakers to the Catholic side? Where did that happen? You don't know?
Oh, that had been...
Way back.
You're talking about the 17th century, actually. In Dublin, do you know the biscuit makers?
Yes. I mean, I know they all come from the same...
Yes, exactly.
Same crowd, yeah. So anyway, Sacky, where were you born originally?
Born in the city.
Where was
in
it?
Glen Terrace.
Oh.
That's down the Glen.
Yeah. And were your parents from? Where were they from?
They were from Waterford City.
Okay. And your mother's name, what was she?
MacDonald.
Okay. And what did your dad work at?
He worked down in Sullivan at the bottling store.
All right. Okay. And was he working in the store or was he delivering?
No, delivering, yes.
Okay.
Salesman, those days.
Okay.
But horse and cart.
Yes. And did your mother, did she work?
No.
Okay. And was there many of you, was the children, many of the family?
I had 9 brothers,
All right.
5 sisters.
It's a big gang.
My father went to work in his spare time.
And so you probably didn't even know some of your brothers and sisters, did you?
I did, of
There were
course.
so many of them.
Oh, yeah, but how do you mean you didn't know?
Well, do you know the way of big families, sometimes you wouldn't even know your younger brothers or your older brothers, depending, because they might be off to work or something. Anyway, go on.
Oh, Jesus, wouldn't you get up in the morning? There could be 60 in the bed, you know what I mean to say? 7 in bed, 3 someplace else. You'd be around a big table. Why wouldn't you know your brothers and sisters?
And when did you move out to St. John's Park then?
1954, 56.
Was that when you got married, was it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And your wife, where was she from?
She's from Congress Place.
Okay, and what was her name?
Jacob.
Jacob, oh yeah.
That's it.
Oh yeah. So therefore, like, where did you meet?
In the Olympia Ballroom.
Go ahead. Do you remember it?
Oh, I do, of course.
But do you remember meeting her?
I do, yes.
Tell us the story.
Well, there's not much. There wasn't much doing entertainment in Waterford. You just went down and asked her for a dance, and we danced. Good night and one thing and another, and a promise of another night. Next night we'd dance the next week. Yeah, from that.
And then when you were kind of going out, where would you go? Was it just to the dances, or would you go out walking, or where would you go?
I go to the cinemas, and then at that time they were just breaking into women to be going into the pub. Prior to that, now women using the frequent pubs. There used to be a snug for the women, and the way it's gone now, they're going to build a snug for the men.
Come here. And where would you go when you're going out with her now? When you're going out with her at that stage, where would you go? What pub would you go to?
Well,
that would have ladies, like.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it was a great scene with Tramore. That'll be the weekend, because the pubs in Waterford on a Sunday closed at 7 o'clock. They're only open from 5 in the evening to 7. But the pubs in Tramore had an extension until 10 o'clock. So the train would be full going out there. That's been one of the things.
Okay.
But then we'd go to cinemas and go to shows, you know.
And the cinemas, which ones would you go to?
The Regal,
Okay.
kind of handiest because we were both on the top of the town, like, as such.
And then shows, where would you go to see a show?
Down to Theatre Royal, there was Jack Dunphy was a great man for putting on shows himself.
What kind of shows would it be?
Musicals, mostly, you know. There's a bit theatre into it, but as far as I recall, he was nearly on his own, like, you know.
Okay. And then you moved out here after you got married?
Yes.
Okay, and so were you living in town before you moved out?
We lived with her mother and father
Okay.
for 2 years.
Okay. And then when you moved out here, what was your first impressions of the place?
I was glad of it, I can tell you, to have it. But it was fairly... When I say a roof, I'm talking to the building site. They were only just after moving out. There were concrete blocks in the gardens and everything like that. You know?
Yeah.
I heard you asking a question there earlier of the lads when they were youngsters. Were you nervous? Were you frightened? There was a particular series on the television at the time, and the name of it was The Naked City. So this place got the name of the Naked City.
Okay. That was the nickname.
And that was the nickname, yes.
And do you remember I was asking lads earlier on about that whole thing about the older generation? You know, they used to all have these superstitions and beliefs and all that kind of stuff. Do you remember any of those ones? Do you know where people would be talking about the fairies or the banshees or the, you know, different superstition things?
Yeah, there's nothing everyone know about that. I dare say my grandfather and grandmother knew the same story, you know.
I know, but I'm saying the younger generation wouldn't know that now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can you remember any of them?
I tell you, I heard you asking the lads there long when they were young. They went into town and they'd graffiti up on the wall. Johnny Boy's Route OK. Is that right? Yeah.
That was only the big press kind of.
And was it a kind of a tough place at that stage? Really?
Not at all. Not at all.
And then I suppose, what was your job, John? Well, Sacky, where did you work?
Over Clover Meads.
Okay. And what section were you working in?
I worked all over it. Mostly on the slaughterhouse and the beef end of it.
Okay. And was that tough work?
That was physically, yeah, it was, yeah.
And how would you get over and back? Would you get a
On
bus
a
or
push bike.
cycle?
Oh yeah.
That was a fair cycle, wasn't it?
Jeez, it was a job. You wouldn't. And there was people older than me at that time walking over there and back, men and women. Women in their 50s, 60s now.
And I know you used to work on a Saturday morning as well, did you?
Oh, delighted. You'd be this. Well, you see, this is prior to the 5-day week. It's talking about the 6-day week. You'd be delighted.
Because you got paid extra on Saturday.
Of course, yeah, time and a half.
And then also, I suppose the other perk from working in Clover is that you get the meat cheap.
That's right, yeah.
So your family did well out.
Did it? What way?
Well, I mean, you got meat. You got good meat every week.
Yeah,
And so can you, I mean, was there a lot of fellas from here worked in Clover?
oh, there was, yeah, there was, yeah.
And Clover employed a lot of women as well, didn't it?
They did, yes. Oh, they did. But this was predominantly glass factory.
Okay.
That particular street there was known as the German Road, still is, because they got all the technicians in from the German Road, from Germany and etc.
Yeah.
And actually, I think they fixed them up with the houses.
Would you remember any of them?
I think you mentioned a few of them there, Joe Kretzen. That he's German, Costello.
Hey,
Yeah,
don't worry about it. And come here, do you know there was at the early days when you were when you first came out here, how to form a community and all that. There was people. I heard the name Johnny Butler mentioned.
Yeah.
And there was a few others at that time that helped organise things.
Yeah.
Can you remember any of those lads?
I do, of course, they were a committee, about 7 of them or so. Actually, there's community hall up there named after one of them, Johnny Butler, Tommy White.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
And did you stay in Clover until it closed? Okay.
No, just shortly before it closed,
Okay.
I took redundancy.
And did you work anywhere after that?
Officially, no.
And what was your impressions? I mean, I suppose a lot of people were out here in the same boat
Yeah.
as yourself. Like, did you like living out here?
Oh, I did, but that question you didn't have a choice. You were glad to it, you know. Housing wasn't as such, you know. Jesus, tonight you couldn't say, I won't take that, I won't take that. You were glad of it. And everyone was in the same boat I was here.
Yeah.
And like some of the lads mentioned earlier, there was a key in every door, like, you know, at 24 hours a day.
And it was good neighbourliness.
Good neighbours, of course. It's in the midways, you know, they're all midways for every second one of them, you know. Or if anyone died, lay him out, whatever the story be.
So you're kind of self-sufficient out here.
Yeah, well, you had to be at the time. But sure, Ireland was like that, you know. We weren't unique in just John's Park.
But what I'm saying is that what's kind of interesting is that it was like a village in a way.
Oh, it was, of course,
Like
yes.
the people went into town,
Oh, yeah.
but it was mostly.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
It's and I tell you what I find John's Park, and it's great to see young fellas and young ones that was born and reared in John's Park, and over the years that they get married, they move back to John's Park. And I think that speaks very well for John's Park.
And you know, we were talking later on about old characters that were living out here way back. Can you remember any of those lads or any of those people that?
Oh, I can't. The one I don't did you mention it, Tommy Kendi across the road here.
What was he like?
Oh, he was an out-and-out character. Great storyteller. I down here one night he telling the story to a fella up the back road. Harry, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Anyway, he was telling the story about him that he didn't get his dinner was a week. He said that one. He said when she gets that humour, he said you wouldn't get a bit taste off her. So that was the fella he was telling it to Terry O'Neill, living up the back from me. Yes, sorry, when about an hour or so after he comes down, he knocking at Tommy's door. Here, I brought you dinner, he said. And Tommy's wife comes looking out, she said, you fucking bastard. Laddie O'Neill. I said, oh, that's only one of the many stories.
And then I saw someone said it on there was a woman that used to tell fortunes out here. Was that? Do you remember?
That's right, yeah. I'm sure our relatives wouldn't be too far away.
All right, okay. So we might hear that story.
You might hear that, yeah.
And then, would you go into town much, or would you stay out here, like for socialising, say with your husband and wife? Would you tend to stay in Brady's and the candy store?
Oh, those weren't built when we came out.
Okay. So you still had to go into town?
You still had to go into town, yeah.
And where did you go?
Well, for women, we should mostly Julie's Hotel.
Okay.
Because they'd have a sing-song there, music, Granville, you know.
Yeah. And then, what about the lads mentioned about the Waterford soccer team at the time? It was very big back in the 60s. No? Would you have gone over much? Over?
Oh, I would, of course. Big deal. We had a couple of good spins with players, you know. Got a good run. There was a guy, Jimmy Gall, played for Waterford City. And they both colourful rig out. And even the Dublin team didn't. They had that silk nicks, you know, blue. Oh, those were clashing. Oh, they got a good, yeah, a couple of good run.
I sure it was the best team in the country for a while.
It was, exactly. It was very colourful, the football they played like.
And should we end up playing Manchester United and Glasgow Celtic?
That's right, yes. You know, you get a good earful wherever you got it.
No, it was at the matches.
Oh, that's old.
What else then? What about, they were talking then about the hurling and all that. There was Aaron's Own and there was John and all that.
Yeah.
So all these clubs then became associated with this area.
Well, you see, this kind of became a nursery for Aaron's Own. Aaron's Own was down in Polebury, you know. And going back 2 years, it was only Aaron's Own and Mount Simon with the two leading clubs, like, you know, for championship, for club teams.
Yeah. So they came out here and started working.
Yes, exactly. Then when the school, actually, see, there was no school at, when we came out here first, the nuns gave a temporary building over in the convent. That's where the children went to, until such time as when they got the school built. And then there came a period, not sure what year it was, the school was going to be closed down because they didn't have enough pupils.
Good.
That's just true, that's not just a rumour. And whatever came a change of circumstances, the population, they built more houses up the back road there, and that's how the school was retained. And the principal in the school at present was a pupil in the school, Harry Quinn.
They came up through.
He was a great man for that school, and still is a great. All the different work he done, way beyond his duty, above the Griffin grandson, one thing another. You know, in his own time, great man altogether. He was a pupil of it. That's how John's pair turned out some great people themselves, not just in music and plays and songwriting, in other walks of life.
I've heard.
Guards, shake hands and whatever. A lot of them could blow the trumpet, but they don't. That they have sons and daughters in high positions. You know what I mean? Say,
It's great.
great, of course it is. You'd be proud of it.
Okay, Sacky, is there anything else that you can think of? Is there anything?
I don't know.
What about?
You keep asking, I'll
But remember we were talking earlier on then about the kind of I suppose the economic situation for people out here. I mean, there wasn't really. Okay, there was the purchase houses.
Yeah.
But there was mostly people were in the same boat.
Actually, they were all rented from the city council at that time. Okay.
And it was the first big housing estate in Waterford.
Well, no, not really. Conley Place back to the you know, and no, it wasn't the first. Yeah. But it was, the layout though was really ahead of its time. You know, that time they had lots of green grass borders, I think, like really looked well on camera, but then winter time you didn't. They had turned into muck. You had to go through muck to get into your house, you know. That's what did I say? I could tell you know, but they used to keep asking questions, and
like, I mean, I suppose at the start then there wasn't many cars around.
oh, not at all. No, push bike was the best. If you could get a bike.
Or would you head out the country much?
Oh yeah, of course.
Or where would you go? Or where would you head off to?
We'd say be on father. We kind of graduated to motorbikes, like, you know, and we go off fishing after Brownstown, Ballymacaw, go out to Dunmore.
Okay. Keith, is there anything you want to ask?
Did we go over our email please about the station?
Yeah.
We should have questions about that, yeah?
So yeah, Sacky, when you were starting off first out here, what was it like? I mean, was it very? You were saying it was like a building site.
At once, yeah. They didn't clean out the houses or windows or anything like that. When you went into it, was like if the bill was an air to walking out. You could find concrete blocks in the air there. You know.
And did you have a choice which house you got, or was you told this is your house?
Well, this is your house, yeah.
And who in the council were you dealing with?
Jeez, I can't record personally. I know it. I think we made a deposit into €20 or something like that.
And would you have to pull strings to get out here, or was it just...
Well, you need a bit of help, all right.
Okay.
You need,
Would that be through councillors you talked to local?
yeah, something like that, or official maybe, you know.
Because there was a big demand.
Oh, Jesus, tonight you're talking about the 50s, you know.
Yeah. Because I mean, I suppose before that, people were either living in their in-laws or
That's it, yeah.
or in, I suppose nearly like very run-down flats and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's anything was welcome, and to get a place on your own, like, you know, the key of your own front door.
And just go back to Waterford at that early stage. When you were a kid, what were the shops that you remember around Waterford?
Chapman's on the Quay, Woolworths, Egan's, pawn shops up Ballybriggan.
Did you ever go into a pawn shop?
Oh, it is, and out.
So was that kind of normal for people to drop in clothes and suits?
Oh, yes, of course it was, yeah. That's no one talking about in my young kids,
Oh yeah, I know
isn't it?
that. Go way back.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, there was a big pawn shop at Ballybrickan, wasn't there?
There was two of them on Ballybrickens. One in John's, one in O'Brien Street. No, that was a part of the thing, like. The clothes used to say indigo on a Monday, out to go on a Saturday.
For mass.
Yes, exactly.
And then also, I mean, there was most of the shops then had a book as well, hadn't they? Like people would have a book,
Oh, yes, that's, yeah, credit, yes, of course.
and then when you got paid, you went in to pay off.
You went in, yeah.
And that was normal.
That was the norm, yes, yeah, of course. The shopkeeper like had to do lots of on trust, you know. But then people weren't moving so much prior to the years I'm talking back in the 30s, you know. The family was in the same establishment for generations, you know. The same with the shops, like, you know, they didn't change overnight, like.
But I mean, it was a certain element of trust about it.
Oh, there had to be, yes. Just a bit of trust about it, yes. And then the shopkeeper, he was dealing with the person at the other end, that there could be sickness at the other end, that there could be a death, you know. And unemployment was very high. There was no great industries, you know.
And did you ever have to emigrate?
I could have, like, when I was young, you needed a passport to leave here. I had a passport to go and a job to go to. My father came across, I got without him knowing it, and he came across it, tore it up, so therefore I couldn't go.
He stopped you.
Yeah,
Where were you heading to?
England, she is England.
You had a job lined up?
Yeah, should have had a bundle of brothers over there.
And why didn't he want you to go?
Because when they got over there and they working over there, they forgot the address here. That's right, yeah.
So they were gone.
They were gone, yeah.
And your father was...
Well, he didn't want me going the same thing.
Okay. And where did you come in the family?
I was 3 down
Okay.
from 15.
And did many of your family after you end up going off for...
There is, yes, of course, there is.
Because there was a lot of work in England in the 50s.
There was, yes.
After the war and all that.
Yes, exactly, yes. There was plenty of demand.
And did many of them stay over there? Many of your...
Most of them stayed over there. They did, yeah.
What part of England?
London mostly. Or just outside London, you know.
And would you go over there to visit them at all?
Occasionally, though, not as much, but their standard of the life, they wasn't as good as ours here now, you know, even though they might have had more money. But they're a pub and back to their own flat or house or whatever, like, you know. We were much here at Waterford. I dare say in Ireland lived at a higher standard than they did.
Okay. There's more of a community over here, I suppose.
Yes, exactly.
And so you've lots of cousins and nephews.
Yes,
and nieces all
exactly.
over in England now. And would they come over here at all?
Well, at the time they used to say they're even coming home, but now the way it is, their home is over there. Do you know what I mean? They'll be leaving home now.
Okay, and how many of your family ended up living in England? Like you said, like there was 15 of you all together. Wasn't it?
Yeah,
How many was in England altogether?
5.
Okay. And then 10 of you ended up staying here then?
Staying here,
working
yeah.
and seven. Okay. And would most of them have stayed in Waterford or would they moved around to different parts of the country?
It's in Waterford.
Okay.
A different, not out here now.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
I know.
different parts of Waterford.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Right. Well, that's very interesting, Sacky. Will we leave that?
Well, I'm satisfied if you are, and if you want to ask any more.
Thanks very much. Sacky,